Heading over to X to find out the breaking news. If you are not following along, which most of you probably are, but there's a trader out there named James Nguyen who is going absolutely nuts. A $1.2 billion 40x leverage long trade on Bitcoin on Hyperliquid. Well, he just posted a cryptic message just an hour ago. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You know when to walk away and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be a time enough for counting when the dealing's done. So here is his position, and this was 14 hours ago. His position, $1.266 billion. His liquidation price, though, was $105,000. So he started to get scared. And as you see from the post, he's seeming to indicate that he has now officially closed this trade. He was up $4 million. Unfortunately, I don't think he ended in a plus territory on this trade. And he goes on to say also before the other post, it says, it's this that has spooked me. GG's if I'm wrong. So indicating that he's still open there. But as we can see here, Bitcoin just flashed a golden cross, historically a major bull signal, past moves, 139% in 2016, 2,200% in 2017, 1,190% in 2020, except for a 10 to 15% dip before blast off. So that reload zone would be 98,000 and 101,000. And ladies and gentlemen watching this video, let me know in the comment section, what was his liquidation price? Yes, that's correct, $105,000. So if we do have this normal pullback that happens after this golden cross, he would be liquidated for $1.2 billion.
Bitcoin's golden cross just flashed. History says, dip first, moon later. If that happens, here's the play. Past golden crosses, starting in these years, Bitcoin went up 139% in 2016, 2,200% in 2017, and 1,190% in 2020. Monster moves are the rule. Typical shakeout after the golden cross is common to see a 10 to 15% flush. So this time we're looking anywhere between $98,000 to $101,000 for the reload zone before absolute liftoff. Remember, US spot ETFs are now vacuuming up almost 10 times the daily miner supply of Bitcoin, making these dips short-lived. When Bitcoin sells off 10%, altcoins historically bleed 30 to 40%. This is flash sale territory. Remember the alts you wished you grabbed last month? The pullback is the redo button and likely your last chance before the banana zone. So here's what you want to do if this scenario plays out. Ladder bids for your altcoins if Bitcoin reaches between $102,000 to $98,000. Let the panic sellers fund your stack. Place bids more aggressively the lower Bitcoin goes. Remember this golden rule. Golden crosses have never printed inside of a true bear market. Momentum, it's up. Golden crosses birth bull runs. Pullbacks are tickets, not traps. Grab the dip or chase green candles later. Deep dive in the link below.
So very interesting take there. And then also his most recent post from James Nguyen, the actual trader holding this big, huge trade, says back to memeing and having fun. So interesting to watch this. This guy is absolutely nuts, gambling with that much money. We'll continue to follow it for you as well. And it's really interesting, this one here. And this is one of the things we talked about in the intro. Binance founder CZ says nations will print unlimited money to buy Bitcoin. And I recently had a conversation about this with a friend of mine. And this actually scares me because as we know right now, the United States prints unlimited money, United States dollars, fiat dollars, and so on, not actually printing money, just adding more digits to the computer that says that we have more money. Well, the problem is if the United States were to do that, if the UAE were to do that, if Russia, China, and all these other countries were to just start printing tons and tons of money to buy Bitcoin, and they buy it, and then all of a sudden the price continues to run up, Bitcoin gets this hyperinflated price, but it's actually devaluing all of it because all of the fiat money purchasing the Bitcoin was hyperinflated, meaning that the price of Bitcoin is also hyperinflated, which would be artificial, and then it would have this extreme dump to the downside, like an extreme explosion to the downside. Grok here on the X platform, if this is a good idea, it says here on the surface, this seems like a bullish scenario for Bitcoin. If nations start buying Bitcoin in mass demand would definitely surge, likely driving up the price, especially given Bitcoin's limited supply of only 21 million coins, as highlighted in the Forbes article. This aligns with the on-chain data that was mentioned, where Bitcoin is trading at 103,000 as of May 19th, with the potential of reaching 120 if it holds these key supports. Institutional accumulation, as discussed in the OneSafe blog post, already reduces liquid supply on exchanges, pushing prices higher. Nations joining this trend could amplify that effect. This could be a strategic move to secure a stake in what some see as the future of money, a fixed supply, mathematically secured asset like Bitcoin, and ostracized nations might adopt early to gain an early bird advantage, while major powers might do so to retain influence as Bitcoin adoption grows. So this is interesting because a lot of the other countries out there outside of the massive countries like China and Russia, United States, and all of these other countries in the UAE that are able to produce lots of money, maybe that is why it is taking so long. They're telling all of these smaller countries to quietly buy up all of these reserves of Bitcoin, and then they all announce it because everyone talks about flip the switch, as they say, you know? So in conclusion, does it undermine the idea of sound money, which is what Bitcoin was designed to be? And it says in the short term, yes, the idea of nations printing money to buy Bitcoin could undermine the spirit of sound money. It allows fiat hegemons to leverage their printing power to dominate a system meant to escape their control altogether, potentially leading to centralization of ownership. Also, market distortion and a delay in Bitcoin's role as a true fiat alternative. This could perpetuate the inequities of the fiat system and make Bitcoin less accessible to individuals, which goes against the ethos of sound money as a tool for individual freedom. So in other words, if you do want to front run this, you need to get in now. You should have got in a long time ago, because what it says here as well is, however, in the long run, Bitcoin's design as sound money is likely to hold firm. Its fixed supply, decentralization, and market-driven value mean it can't be fully co-opted by nations, even if they accumulate large amounts. Moreover, their actions might accelerate the decline of fiat currencies, reinforcing Bitcoin's position as the sound money alternative. Now, the key risk is whether Bitcoin can transition from a speculative asset to a stable medium of exchange amidst the volatility that nation state buying could introduce. Now, my ultimate problem with this, and what I mean, what I was asking was, you, me, and every other normal retail trader person out there that's not a government, okay? If governments start printing fake money to buy up Bitcoin, then we can't, as normal people, afford Bitcoin. Are these governments that are printing infinite amounts of money to gain access to infinite amounts of Bitcoin as far as pricing goes, not necessarily the amount of actually accumulation of coins, are they going to give us coins? Are they going to give us some sort of stimulus? Hey, everyone, here's $100,000 in Bitcoin or whatever that does, because of the fact that if they're hyperinflating fiat currency to buy Bitcoin and they hyperinflate the price of Bitcoin from what it is now, 108, 109,000, all of a sudden it is $1 million a coin, and you didn't get access to get any of it because we weren't told that we were supposed to get in there. Like, obviously right now it's speculative, but if governments really start to say we're going to be using this as the ultimate money in the world, they should prepare us and tell us, or give us, right? They've done stimulus before. Are they going to give us a crypto wallet and then you can exchange that money? They're going to give you whatever the hyper inflated value becomes. That's where I'm having a real problem on this debate, as far as the reasons countries should not be printing money to just buy Bitcoin. So let me know your thoughts down below. Also, HSBC debuts Hong Kong's first blockchain settlement service with tokenized deposits. And this service is built on Chainlink's infrastructure, which has been integral in Hong Kong's DLT projects, including stablecoin development. HSBC's earlier tokenized on FFC authorized HSBC Gold token, highlighting Chainlink's role in connecting traditional finance with blockchain ecosystems. So congratulations, Chainlink. Huge shout out to you guys. And in an interesting twist, Polygon co-founder Mihailo Belichick steps down, becoming the third co-founder to leave since 2023. There is some skepticism about this going on X, with users saying it's suggested as an exit strategy by the founders, criticizing Polygon for lacking innovation amidst a crowded field of Ethereum-based layer 1 and layer 2 solutions.